morning, this is Bob Mason from FX Empire and welcome to the daily crypto tech review of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin and Ripple's XRP, looking at the MACDs, the moving averages and the day's support, resistance and pivot levels. It is Monday, the 18th of January. Jumping straight into Bitcoin against the US dollar, looking at the hourly candlesticks. It's bearish start to the day here for Bitcoin. Can we see Bitcoin avoid a fall through the pivot at 35,565? Take a run at the first major resistance level sitting at 37,263. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Bitcoin to break out from yesterday's high. That was at 36,928. So buying an extended crypto rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and resistance at 37,500 to cap any upside. In the event of an extended crypto rally, could see Bitcoin test resistance at 40 before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 38,625. The fall through the pivot level will bring the first major support level sitting at 34,203 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Bitcoin should stay clear of the second major support level sitting at 32,505. 23.6% fib at 33,008 should limit the downside. Looking at the MACD, we've got a narrowing of the bullish histograms, suggestive of some possible downsides, so need to keep an eye on that. On the EMAs, we're seeing the 50 pull away marginally from the 100 and the 200, also suggestive of some possible downside through the morning. So key through the early part of the day, avoid the pivot at 35,565 and break back through to 37,000 levels to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that and support levels are in play. Moving across to Ethereum against the US dollar, it's a mixed start to the day. Going to need to see Ethereum avoid the pivot at 1223 to take a run at the first major resistance level, sitting at 1279. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Ethereum to break out from yesterday's high that was at 1268.83. So barring an extended crypto rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and resistance at 1300 to cap any upside. In the event of an extended rally, Ethereum should test resistance at 1400 before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 1326. A fall through the pivot will bring the first major support level at 1176 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Ethereum should steer well clear of the 23.6% fib at 1051. Second major support level at 1120 should limit any downside. Looking at the MACD, we've got a narrowing of the bullish histograms, suggestive of a possible bearish cross formation there, so need to keep an eye on that through the morning. On the EMA, the 50 is holding its ground against the 100 and the 200, however, so nothing conclusive there. So key through the early part of the day, avoid the pivot at 1223 and break out from yesterday's high 1268.83 to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that and support levels are in play. Moving across to Litecoin against the US dollar, slightly positive start to the morning. Going to need to see Litecoin avoid the pivot at 142 to take a run at the first major resistance level at 147.8 and the 23.6% fib at 148. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Litecoin to break out from yesterday's high that was at 147. So barring an extended crypto rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and the 23.6% fib at 148 to cap any upside. In the event of a breakout, could see Litecoin test resistance at 160 before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 152.7. Fall through the pivot level would bring the first major support level sitting at 137 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Litecoin should steer well clear of the 38.2% fib at 125. Second major support level at 131.3 should limit any downside. Looking at the MACD, we've got a narrowing of the bullish histograms, but nothing suggestive of a bearish cross, so keep an eye on that. On the EMAs, 50 is also holding its ground against the 100 and the 200 as well, so that's inconclusive. So key through the early part of the day, avoid the pivot at 142 and break out from yesterday's high at 147 to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that and support levels will be in play. Finally, looking at Ripple's XRP against the US dollar. Slightly bearish start to the morning here. Going to need to see Ripple's XRP avoid a fallback through the pivot at 0.2771 to take a run at the first major resistance level sitting at 0.2857. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Ripple's XRP to break back through to 0.28 levels. So buying an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and yesterday's high, that was at 0.28552 to cap any upside. In the event of an extended rally, could see Ripple's XRP test resistance at 0.3 before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 0.2941. A fallback through the pivot will bring the first major support level at 0.2687 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Ripple's XRP should avoid sub 0.26 levels. Second major support level at 0.2601 should limit the downside. Looking at the MACDs, got a narrowing of the bullish histograms, but nothing indicative of a bearish cross, so keep an eye on that. On the EMAs, 50 pulling back marginally from the 100 and the 200, but nothing conclusive to suggest a pullback through the morning. So keep through the early part of the day, avoid a fallback through the pivot at 0.2771 and break back through to 0.28 levels to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that and support levels are in play.